Hey there, everybody. This is NiceGoblin Podcast. I am your host, NiceGoblin94, joined by the lovely Mystic,
Hi.
and we're going to look at some short stories we found, share them with you, answer a question from the old and new book of questions, and just try to get away from it all for a little bit. So grab a snack, grab a drink, and let's see about having some fun. So the short stories that we found are coming from the r slash writing prompts subreddit. Uh, just gonna jump right off into it real fast. Unless you had something you wanted to talk about before we did, Mystic.
Nope, I'm excited to jump into these stories. I think we found some really creative ones, and the people on here, we are of course going to give their names, and in the just comments description, we will have links to these prompts. That way, if you guys are interested in maybe writing and submitting your own, or if you just want to read through the ones that we've picked, that would be awesome.
Yep. So I'll go ahead and start us off. The writing prompt that I found is uh, just a concept I really, really dig. I'll talk about it a little bit more after I've read the story. But it is invade the humans, they said. It'll be fun, they said. They only have nuclear weapons. It'll be easy, they said. Those bastards failed to mention that the humans also bite. So that's the writing prompt, and then user the user that came up with this was defaulty. So big ups to this guy for being right up my alley. The first story that I found is by user Siskulis. I hope I said that right. I just thought, man, I'm really glad. I'm really hoping that that's not like some obscure swear word or something that's gonna offend somebody. Like you gotta be careful on Reddit, man. But alright, so jumping right into it. The being limped into the healer's dormitory. Limped is perhaps the wrong word. The Thulian dragged itself in. One tentacle was already turning black from necrosis, another missing entirely, and the other 9 were all swollen with infection. Of its 7 eyes, only one seemed functional, and even more alarming for a Thulian, it was alone. The amboid healer moved quickly, catching the Thulian with the pseudopod as it fell. Good cosmos! What happened to you? The Thulian glared with its one good eye and burbled something unintelligible. The healer shuddered and administered a sedative, then carried the injured being over to the regeneration tank, dumping its patient in unceremoniously. 4 standard hectares later, the fully restored Thulin heaved itself from the tank. The healer looked up from the screen it was reading. Feeling better? Much. Thank you, honored healer. The amboid shuddered in negation. "'Tis my purpose, but I must ask, what could possibly do that to a species that ignores plasma fire?" The Thulin grumbled something under its breath. Say again. The Thulin looked like it was about to go into a rage, but paused, glancing upward for a moment, then looked back at the healer. If ever anyone tells you that hunting a primitive species on their home planet is a good idea, ignore them. Only fusion bombs. Bah! The healer blinked. A fusion bomb would be nothing more dangerous than a big meal to you. Yes, healer, thank you for your insight into my species' strengths, the Thulian spat back, then looked up and regained his self-control. The humans of Sol 3 are not to be trifled with, real weapons or no. Humans? They're physically weak with no radion-based weaponry. The only thing they have that could hurt you would be, I don't know, perhaps some of their chemicals. Did you know their digestive processes start in their mouths? They produce a substance called slobber, apparently, and Thulian skin is very vulnerable to it. They bit you. One of them did. It said something about something called calamari. The end.
Okay, that was amazing.
So this, like I said, this is a concept in writing that I love. I wish that there was more of it. I get so irritated whenever every science fiction or science fantasy book or novel or movie or game or just pick a form of media, humans are always depicted as these vanilla, low class, just like the best thing that they might have going for them is like they might be a jack of all trades if it's like a video game or something like that. But other than that, they're just humans are always depicted as just like the weak or the nobody class. And I love the concept of humans are the space orcs. Humans are just either so insane or so tenacious or just they've got something to them that they are like they are the space boogeyman that other alien cultures tell stories about. And there's a Tumblr thread that I found ages and ages ago that I've got screenshotted and saved, uh, that talks about like all these hypothetical situations, like if it was a plant-based alien system that found us, and they're just like horrified at the fact that humans eat capsaicin for fun.
Yes, I know which one you're talking about.
It's like, because you think about it, humans are kind of insane as like just as far as Earth-based species. Uh, so imagine something that isn't a carbon-based life form that comes into contact with us, and it's just like, uh, human, why are you just laying in the stars' light and getting toasted? Like that's too much solar radiation for you. As long as
Human, why are you radiating your flesh?
yeah, just I'm looking a little pale. I wanted to get tan. You're exposing yourself to harmful radiation to change the pigmentation of your skin. Yeah, just a little bit. Why? Because it looks good.
Because
What?
society.
What? Like I love that concept of humans being just scary strong or just having like that one little quirk that puts them over the edge of being, oh god, no, the humans run.
There was also one that it's kind of related to humans, but it was like the gods fight back.
Ooh, um, I don't think that I don't think I've seen that thread, but I've heard of it.
I'll try to find it for you sometime later and send it to you because oh man, like ooh, it hits all the right spots.
See, something else that's kind of partially related to this is I want a story, game, book, like just pick a form of media. Um, but I want something that is early contact, but not first contact, you know? Because you think about it, every sci fi story that I've ever found is uh, first contact or after first contact. Um, we've either just now met the aliens, and 9 times out of 10, it goes horribly, horribly wrong, and we get the Mars attack situation or something like that, you know? That is your Mars attacks, your battle of LA or whatever that
Out of
movie
Los
was.
Angeles,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, your Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where you've got the protagonist who's meeting the aliens for the first time. Or you've got the extreme opposite of that, where aliens exist. We've been co-mingling with them for however long. That's your District 9, your Star Wars, your Star Trek. I want something where, honestly, the closest that we've gotten is Transformers, like the Michael Bay movies, as painful as that is for me to say, um, where we've had our first contact, the aliens are kind of starting to adapt, but we're still not really sure that we trust them, you know?
Yeah. So the God story I was talking about is somewhat similar to that. Like it prefaces and starts in talking about how like humans have had first contact and they are starting to lose and it's been some time. And then various gods start like stepping in because like this planet is their home. These humans are their humans and they start like there's one part where it's talking about like the Morrigan, like this woman of just immense beauty and power just crosses a battlefield, a single woman, and someone calls out to her and says, "What are you doing? Run!" And she just like slaughters this entire army and turns and looks at the human. And in that moment, the human recognizes who it is. And it's like, it's just, it sends chills down my spine. I really love a Tumblr post. Maybe it's not even a Tumblr post, it might be an r/writing prompts post. I'll have to find it. It's great. I love it.
That sounds amazing. Uh,
Then
but,
speaking of gods, my writing prompt I like is actually about God.
ah,
Seems like a good little segue.
right. Hey, hey, we can actually segue every now and then.
Exactly. So this one comes from Box Prime. The writing prompt is, "Thank you, God, for letting me live another day." "No problem," says a booming voice. Silence falls over your room until you hear the booming voice say, "Sorry, didn't realize my mic was on." Which I am already pretty in love with this idea. Just I can imagine that being my life right there. And then the response is 0.21 gigawatts. This response is really clever and I love it. "God, is that you?" No answer. I sigh and roll back over, nestling my head into my pillow. Then suddenly the booming voice returns. This might be a little hard to explain. Can I just send you a Zoom link? "Okay," I respond, stepping out of bed and sitting at my desk. I open my laptop and email, and sure enough, there's a message. "God would like you to join his Zoom meeting." I click the link and the Zoom app opens. "Hi there," I say. "Ah, there you are, Jake," the voice says, decidedly less booming now. "Okay, I can see you, but I can't hear you. Yep, just go ahead and yeah, the webcam. That ought to do it. Perfect." Todd looks just the way I've always seen him depicted: long flowing white hair and a bushy white beard. "I know what you're thinking," he says. "In these meetings, I take the form of however the speaker wishes me to appear." I see. We've been focus testing this experience for a while now. People's prayers have gotten increasingly despairing, so we thought a little face to face wouldn't hurt, if you know what I mean. That little mic snafu, that was on me. So I apologize in advance for any clunkiness you might experience. This call will be recorded for quality assurance purposes. I stare blankly at the screen. "Go on, don't be shy. What would you like to discuss?" Ah, I'm still at a loss. I'm just grateful to be alive, honestly. Some days I think what a fascinating time to be alive. Others, what a terrible time to be alive. Today, I'm just grateful. It was a good day. That's wonderful to hear, Jake. You know, we're offering a subscription package right now for mood boosts. For the low price of $9.99 a month, you can get a jolt of energy and enthusiasm delivered directly to your brainwaves. Yours truly. I cough, and God breathes a defeated sigh. "Look, Jake, I'm not happy about hawking this stuff either, but times are tight for everyone. Wish I had more time to give you. I wish I had more time to give everyone. It's just really hard for me to adjust to this techno stuff." "It's okay, God. I don't mind." God smiles. "Well, thanks." I pause and stroke my chin for a moment, and then ask, "Do you think you'll be needing any beta testers?" "Well, as a matter of fact, yes. Can I send you a form to fill out?" "Of course." "It's been a pleasure, Jake. We'll be talking again soon." Zoom client closes and a new message pops into my email. It's a Google form. I open it up and the form is riddled with typos and strange formatting. I chuckle and shake my head. It seems I may have just become God's tech support. I really love this.
I love it. I'll admit I had a flashback to my time at the call center with the whole this call will be recorded for quality assurance.
Also, I love some of the comments on it. This is a good way to visualize gods, not tech savvy but still trying. Then the for the low price of $9.99 a month. For a second, I have the thought if EA was God.
Right? That was my exact knee jerk reaction to that. In all honesty, was like EA apparently is running heaven now. Or I thought it was going to be a plot twist and be like, wait a second, microtransactions wouldn't exist in heaven. This is Satan, isn't it?
Right? So I'm not gonna lie, my initial one was like, this is probably gonna be some kind of like, haha, got you, this is just an angel or just a little demon or something, just trying to get you to sell your soul. I think it ended up being even cuter that like God's a boomer. God is trying, but just
Right?
technology doesn't help. Like he just can't figure out technology.
Yeah. Oh man, I do love that. Can you imagine getting that sort of interaction though? Like,
It would be an
God,
experience.
God, is that you? Can I send you a Zoom? Wait, you don't use Zoom. Discord.
Right? So like you couldn't even tell anybody because they'd be like, "Right, you talk to God
Yeah,
on Discord." Okay.
yeah. People are like you already say that you talk to God in certain circum. Man, can you tell I've been up for 25 hours? Certain
Not at
circles.
all.
You say, "Oh yeah, I talk to God all the time" in certain circles, and you're gonna get some weird looks, and then try to sell them on the idea that yeah, I had a Zoom meeting with the Almighty. I like
Sure
it.
you did, Carol. Sure.
Is that a reference to a particular Carol?
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, that was a awesome story. Um, who was the one that who was the user that wrote that story? Did you shout him out?
Yes, that is again 0.21 gigawatts.
All right. 0.21 gigawatts. Siskulis, y'all both awesome writers. Kind of. Is there a way to follow certain creators on Reddit?
I
Yes, there
believe
is.
there is. Yes.
I am following Siskulis, and I will probably be following the other guy. I love following talented writers like that.
Right. And who knows? Next time we do these short stories, which the third week of next month, we could honestly just go through their stuff and see some of their other writings.
Right? And then you scroll through and find out that, oh, yeah, that was just our first thing that we wrote. Ah,
And it's just mind blown.
right. But, alright, so now that we've gushed about our new favorite writing and our ways of finding entertaining short stories on the writing prompt subreddit, let's go ahead and ease on down to the book of questions. We'll go ahead and start with the old school, the original, the first edition that I have on ebook. So I don't know that it qualifies as first edition, but whatever. Book of questions. So, question 3: if you were to die this evening with no opportunity to communicate with anyone, what would you most regret not having told someone? And why haven't you told them
I'll let you go first.
yet? I am trying to think. I mean, the only thing that really immediately comes to mind is just like people in high school that I was kind of a douche nozzle to just because I was it was high school, everybody was a douche nozzle. I'd kind of want to apologize to them, and as far as why haven't I told them yet, is I don't really like. I don't want to just look them up on Facebook. Some of them don't even have Facebook, and some of them had the smart idea to delete theirs or never get involved with it in the first place. So,
Mood.
yeah. So I don't really just have the means to contact all the people I can think of off the top of my head. So, uh, well, hey, you know what? I've got this platform now that two people listen to. So, if I was ever a toxic individual in your life, I do apologize for that. I am growing every day and trying to do better. That isn't really much of an excuse, but I am sorry deeply if I ever was that way to you. So yeah, my conscience is clear on that now.
I'm very proud of you. It takes a lot of courage, especially even though we've only, like you said, got about 2 viewers. Still, it's a big thing to come out and apologize to somebody. So I'm very proud of you. And as your friend now, as the person you are now, I'm very proud to call you my best friend. And you are definitely not that person anymore.
Well, thank you.
And so for mine, my biggest regret is not telling a certain someone how much I absolutely hate them and I'd love to see them die in a fire and I wouldn't piss on them to put it out. And why I haven't told them is because I have no contact with them. So, yeah. Can
I
you tell
mean,
our vastly different personalities with this?
I mean,
I mean, you know who it is, but for just the
I,
purpose
I've
of
got,
I
I've
don't
got,
want to get in trouble, I'm
yeah,
not going to
no,
say who it is.
I've got a pretty good idea who it is, and I definitely like. I can't blame you for feeling that way. I don't judge you for feeling that way. But yeah, no, that was.
We're not naming names for a reason, but if you're listening to this and you think it's about you, it probably is, dear.
It probably is, and you need to reevaluate your life decisions.
Exactly. No, if we're going for a lighter subject, like that is the main thing, but I guess on a lighter note, it would just be all the people that know I tell people thank you for supporting me all the time, and I do try my best to return affection when it's given. I am not always the best at it, so I suppose regret other than the main one would be not telling people enough how much I do appreciate them. And why I haven't told them is because I'm bad at it. I'm really really bad at showing affection and returning affection and vocally thanking people. So if you're in my life and you have supported me and I haven't told you thank you enough, I promise I do really appreciate it. I'm just bad at this.
And speaking of support, if you want to support the podcast, you can like, comment, and subscribe down below.
Yes, because next podcast for next Sunday, we would really like to read off comments. We just don't have enough yet. So please, 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 if you want us to read your comments and interact back with you, get to leaving them. We can't read your mind, unfortunately. That technology has not quite come out yet. So give us your thoughts. Let us know if you have any suggestions. If you absolutely hate this, let us know. We need to learn where to improve.
Oh god, mind reading technology. That would be a two-way street, and that would be terrifying.
Absolutely.
Also, we have a Discord set up. Right now, it is just Mystic, myself, and another friend of ours. So hop in there and continue the conversation from the podcast. We've got all sorts of channels set up to really try to make it a good clubhouse for the Goblin Army that is listening to go in and talk and interact and share stories, share media, just you know, share and enjoy each other's company. So,
Little digital home, basically, or
right?
a lair, a cave. Goblins
Yes,
like caves.
yes. And now that we've gotten that whole shtick out of the way, we can move on to the third question from the new hotness book of questions, the new and improved. If you had to be obsessed with money, sex, sports, religion, or food, which one would you choose?
My choice is fairly obvious. I'm very obsessed with food.
Same.
I think we're pretty similar on this one. Like food fixes everything for me. I know it's not healthy, but I have a very unhealthy relationship with food. When I'm sad, I eat. When I'm happy, I eat. When I celebrate something, I eat. When I'm trying to lose weight, I eat. I eat all the time.
Yeah, no, that is definitely something. Uh, I, so that's something I feel like I am obsessed with. But if I had to be obsessed with one of those to replace food, I'd honestly probably say money. It might like do something to help me be a little bit more innovative in making money. Cause
Or money conscious,
yeah,
yeah.
uh, cause right now I have terrible money handling skills. So if I could just like flip a switch and replace my obsession with food with an obsession with for money, I'd probably be down with that.
Yeah, but the downside of that is that there are negatives to obsessions, and I feel like an obsession with money, if you're not really, really careful, can make you very greedy or, mean to friends over it. Like if you like cover a meal for a friend and they don't pay you back right away with interest or something, an obsession is an obsession and it can be very dangerous.
As long as I don't transform into a dragon, I'm fine.
I mean, if you did transform into a dragon, though, I can direct your flames a certain place.
it, I'm sure that that is not in any way, shape, or form connected to the previous question.
Actually, no, it's not. Um, yeah, I think I'll stick with my obsession with food just because like the most negative thing that can come out of my obsession with food is damage to my own body. But I don't really have to hurt anybody else. And I feel like an obsession with any of the other things can lead to, if you're not really careful, hurting other people.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you you can definitely go down the list and see how obsession with money, sex, sports, religion, how those can lead to outward harm. Obsession with food, really, as long as you're not just eating your family's entire pantry every night, that really does only affect you. Uh,
Yeah.
Funnily enough, I do have a story of a friend of mine. I'm not going to say that he's obsessed with sports. I am not, however, going to say that he did not put a wooden cooking spoon through a television at one point.
Oh my goodness.
Um, so this individual is a huge Detroit Lions fan. Um, Now that everybody who is a fan of sports has settled down and stopped laughing, um, this happened circa 2015, 2016, somewhere in there. Um, I'm not I'm not a big football fan. I don't really care, but apparently the Lions were doing really good in this game, and then they made like one grievous mistake that cost them the game. My
Ooh.
my buddy is sitting in his kitchen cooking because he's the kind of guy he gets the NFL Red Zone or whatever it is where it like shows all the games simultaneously, and like whenever certain action is going, they'll cut to that game and focus on that game, and he'll invite everybody over and he'll cook like really big meals and or like have just a bunch of hors d'oeuvres or whatever and all sorts of he made it's a party, and
Yeah.
he was in the kitchen cooking, and he saw that, and I was not here for the like I was hearing about this later because I went to his place the week after, and I had noticed that something was different, and finally that's how I heard the story. I was like, man, something is weird. Something is off. I can't tell what, but something is weird. Something is different about your living room. So they told me the story. So lions screw up, and they have like that little drive-through window above the sink in their kitchen that lets you see into the living room.
Okay.
And he was at the sink. He saw that, and before he could think, he chunked the spoon, and it hit the TV. And apparently, again, I was not here for this. It embedded itself in the TV.
Oh my goodness.
Um, Now, knowing this individual the way that I do, that doesn't sound too far fetched. But apparently, he was like, he let out a sigh. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to Walmart. So he got a new TV. That was a expenditure he was not prepared for, but that's what you get whenever you cook and watch sports and your team sucks,
Lose
I
your
guess.
temper.
Right?
So there you have it, folks. Don't cook and sports at the same time. It's a very dangerous, dangerous game.
Unless your team is not notorious for losing, then then you're good to go. What I don't know. What's a big bandwagon team that everybody loves that does really well?
Uh, Lord, I haven't watched football in forever. I guess the Cowboys, like, they typically do pretty good and then they fumble it later in the season.
See, I don't remember where in the season it was, so it could have been early games when the Cowboys are hot, or it could have been late game or late in the season whenever he would have had just as much reason to chunk a spoon through a TV.
Right.
I can I will say this is the same person who got me into MMA and UFC fights, and there was more than a few occasions where I'd go over and the judge he wouldn't agree with the judge's call, and I'll be like, Adam, do I need to hide the spoon?
I, I might actually start using that with my friends. I'm not even going to give them context. Just when they get angry, I'm going to be like, give me your spoons and watch them. Like, that's the fastest way to diffuse someone's anger, though. Think about it. You're getting angry, and somebody just walks up to you and says, give me your spoons. You can't be angry anymore. You're going to be like, what? Why? When? At what?
What spoons?
Exactly. And then instantly, no longer angry.
There is no spoon. Real,
Spoon is a lie.
really? You haven't seen The Matrix?
No,
So your homework assignment for next week.
I refuse. Because I have actual homework due, so I refuse.
But yeah, no, The Matrix. Oh man, I can't say anything. I only saw it like a few years ago, and so I was definitely behind the curve on that one. But yeah, so that was fun. Um, like we said, we'll have the links to the writing prompt subreddit in the description for the video below. Um, we do hope that you will join us next week.
We would
And
really love to read your comments. Please, please, please. Even if you hate us, give
yeah,
us some feedback. We would love to know your thoughts so that we can improve, at least have something to read.
yeah, we would love to read some hate mail and poke fun at you for misspelling. Because have you noticed that hate mail always has just like the most egregious errors in it?
Oh, yeah, always. It's great.
So yes, send us hate mail. We will mock you mercilessly, and then we'll go to the fan mail and we will shower you with love and praise, even if you are terrible at grammar.
Exactly. Also, put it this way, there's plenty of people that pay me to mock them mercilessly. You're getting it for free if you leave some hate mail. So do it.
I learn something new every day.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in, and like I said, hope to see you next week. Take it easy, y'all. we really need to figure out a better ending for this.
Yeah, we'll brainstorm that.